Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today's July 15th, and right now we're looking at the visible satellite imagery. You can see the marine there up against the California coastline, sun rising across Pacific Ocean, Hurricane Calvin continuing its trek off to the west, monsoon moisture trying to bubble into California coming up here, but the big weather story is the huge ridge of high pressure bringing a prolonged, intense, record-setting heat wave across the region. We'll take a look at those details here coming up in a moment. This is Southern Cal weather history, July 15th, 1985. Monsoon moisture was flowing into the region here. Got some flooding. Small plane near Mormon Rock was downed, killing all three aboard here. So yeah, San Diego National Weather Service does these weather histories almost every single day, and they're pretty interesting to look at here. What can happen at this time of year? It just hasn't kicked into gear this year just yet anyway. This is looking at National Weather Service Las Vegas, Death Valley flirting with 130 by Sunday. More information on that here in a moment. Just some ridiculous temperatures across some of the area. Look at Lake Mead pushing 120 by Sunday. This is Phoenix, Arizona. Forecast high versus record high. And you can see setting some records here as we go through early to mid this week. Also with the prolonged nature of this heat dome across the area, I'll just call it. And the overnight lows not providing much relief either. This is looking at Flagstaff National Weather Service, Arizona, heat-related fatalities per year in Arizona, about 200. And this is an exceptionally powerful heat wave here. So a lot of people are going to be at risk. So heads up, please take this seriously. This is looking at Furnace Creek. Check it out. You could be pushing 130, 131 degrees by the time you get towards Sunday. And that 134-degree reading you hear about in Death Valley is in dispute. So this could be the highest reliably recorded temperature ever on planet Earth. This is looking at forecast record high temperature locations for Sunday. This is, you can clearly see where the ridge of high pressure is here. Record temperatures across California, Nevada, Arizona, even up into Oregon and Idaho as well. Now here we go. Dense fog along the coast. Visibility down to a quarter mile or even less some areas. It's kind of like a blessing though if you're coming from the interior and you can get underneath some of that dense fog, but that should be wrapping up as I speak right now across the coastline. Now, taking a look, Phoenix, Arizona, some strong wording here. You can see already 5 straight days with lows 90 or above. The all-time record high is 7 days. Likely going to break that record and add on to it. And the number of consecutive days, and this is the big one, at or above 110 degrees with this heat wave is also likely to break the record of 18 days set back in 1974. And you're probably going to add on to that too as we go through the week coming up. Now, taking a look at the ridge of high pressure, look at this just monster thing. It's just not going anywhere quick either. We're talking about record highs at 18,000 feet, 500 millibars across the area. The only little bit of hope here is maybe this will try to push off to the east over the next few days and allow for a little bit of monsoon moisture to try to start to make its way into the region here. But this ridge looks very persistent all the way in through mid and later next week coming up. You got the European on the left and the GFS on the right comparison. This is looking at Flagstaff. Now you're talking about the red line here being all-time record heights at 500 millibars, and we're going to be challenging that. So this ridge is probably going to be setting some daily records here for just how strong it is. Very intense heat wave. This is looking at last night's European. It goes out 144 hours. You'll notice some activity across the Sierra Nevada, Northern California, Northern Nevada here as well. So thunderstorm activity could be going on. Not a lot of precipitation with this storm. Not that dry out here, so we're not too concerned about wildfire starts just yet, but just a heads up, there could be some dry lightning associated with those. And you can see some monsoon moisture trying to bubble into Arizona here. Not a big signal here coming up on the European as we go through Thursday night. Though we'll watch this over the next few days. Some of the models continue to show the potential of the monsoon trying to get going here. Now, taking a look at the national blended models, we're going to run this out all the way out past 10 days. And you can see some of that activity trying to get in Southern California, or Southern Arizona here, and some of the higher terrain here. So that's not a bad signal right there. But, we'll watch this over the next few days and try to get a better, more consistent forecast going for you. This is looking at precipitable water, and you can see Hurricane Calvin, the big slug of moisture associated with that off to the south. And you'll notice a little bit of moisture moving up into California here, and associated with this trough pulls it across some of Northern California into Northern Nevada here. That could kick off a few thunderstorms here Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, and Monday afternoon as well. And check out the remnants of Hurricane Calvin trying to get towards Hawaii. They're kind of an interesting look there as I go backwards in time. And then you can see the system kind of weaken here, but still might bring an increase of moisture across the Hawaiian Islands to the extended. I'll watch that over the next couple of days as well. This is looking at the NAM 3KM. So precipitable water. This is a similar map we just looked at the European, but just just a high resolution model. And a little bit closer, you can see that moisture move up across some of northern California, this Sierra here. It might put a little bit of a damper in some of the temperatures as it moves through, but not too much so. And this is going to bring some thunderstorm activity potentially on and through Monday afternoon as well. This is what the Doppler radar may look like across the next couple of days. Across the desert Southwest, California, Nevada, Arizona here. You see some of this activity trying to bubble across Arizona. Here we go. Now, as we scroll through Sunday here, you can see it kind of clipping the southeast regions down there as well. Not a great signal here on the NAM3 cam, but you'll see some of this activity start to kick up across northern California and northern Nevada here as you go through Sunday night into Monday afternoon. So just a heads up for that. Some of that could be some dry lightning out there, just, not producing much precipitation at all, but could be some thunderstorms. This is looking at daily 2-meter max temperature here on the National Blend of Models, and you can clearly see where Death Valley is located here and some of the lower inland valleys here across some of the desert areas. Just ridiculously hot. This would be for Sunday. Look at this, pushing 130 degrees for Death Valley there. Very warm across the valley areas as well as Phoenix. You don't have to go far inland to really get some extreme heat here across California. 6 to 10 day precipitation probability outlook. I don't know about this. I mean, we're showing some moisture make it into the region here, but they keep showing this above average precipitation outlook here. Hopefully they're right, but, take that with a grain of salt at this range right now. 8 to 14 day precipitation probability outlook, also showing that above average bump there here. But as you saw in some of the models, you're not showing much precip at all across Las Vegas and Southern California. This is 6 to 10 day temperature probability outlook here across much of the region. Of course, expecting above average conditions through July 24th and all the way until July 28th. Not much of an exception there. It looked like a very prolonged period of heat coming. This is looking from July 1st to July 14th. A lot of the West Coast and the East Coast above average, including Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona. California kind of hit or miss above, maybe average out towards normal here. Oregon and Washington quite warm for July here coming up. And you can see across the Midwest is where most of the cold temperatures have been going on for the month of July. But now check out the whole year. And again, I showed this yesterday here. This goes through July 14th yesterday. And you can see a lot of the Southwest has been below average. So we're kind of paying for that now with the ridge of high pressure. Definitely going to be challenging these below average temperatures here so far this year. And see the big yin and yang here between the West and the East so far this year through July 14th. But anyway, yeah. Man, be ready for this heat. Not much relief coming up here, folks. Going to be setting records across for places like Phoenix, places the interior valleys here, the Central Valley. Going to be setting some records here as well. Hopefully that monsoon can get going here. But, we'll continue to watch this over the next few days. We'll try to get a little bit better forecast here for the monsoon going off in through the extended. Kind of a cat and mouse game there. But anyway, hope you guys are having a good day, that you can beat the heat. Click like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys again tomorrow.